guest today is Eric Nana, founder and managing director of MobiPay. The advent of mobile money disrupted the company he worked for, leaving him stranded in Uganda. Despite his efforts to find employment, it was feedback from a failed interview that ignited his entrepreneurial spirit. Drawing on his deep understanding of the Ugandan agriculture system, mobile money, and humanitarian work, he built a business from scratch, all from his sitting room to holding his kids in the bedroom. To fund his venture, Eric even sold his wife's car. Today, MobiPay serves 350,000 farmers across Uganda. In this inspiring talk, Eric shares the profound lessons he learned through personal tragedy and how it redefined his startup journey. Let's hear how Eric picked up the pieces.
In front of you is a lion. Behind you is a charging rhino. What will you do? Right. A Ghanaian in Uganda. So my name is Eric Nana Kwabena Agyei. I'm the CEO and founder of MobiPay AgroSys Limited. But today I'm standing here to give you my experience as handling crisis in an organization. So in 2010, I moved to East Africa. A hardware technician from Ghana, full of life, going to take the East African continent by storm. I walked into the boardroom of Posta Uganda, and I saw two things. First, a lady that will become my wife and co-founder. And secondly, mobile money. Something that later will bite us hard. Fast forward, and the mobile money innovation that I saw in Uganda brought our business to its knees. Interestingly, the Posta Uganda that we have gone to digitize their mobile money order signed agency agreement with the mobile money service providers. Stranded in a foreign land, not even money to come back home. And interestingly, I had also enrolled myself into a degree program to better my education in computer engineering. So I moved on slowly, got some teaching opportunities here and there, and then I graduated. But good enough, I also came back with a precious gift. That is my daughter. I graduated with a degree and also had a daughter. All this while, I have been trying to seek employment. But unfortunately, nothing came out. So along the line, I got a friend from Kenya who called me and said, Eric, you know what? I have an opportunity in Uganda to do something with AgriFin Mobile. I'm not there. Can you do it for me? I said, yes, why not? I jumped on it. I had zero knowledge of agriculture. But I studied agriculture, I jumped into it, and 6 months down the line, I completed the assignment. I came back again searching for jobs. And you know what? I applied 252 times, and all of it got rejected. So as I stand here, when you send me a reject message, my skin is toughened. So I just receive it. But something struck me along the line when my wife came back home and said, you know what, I have something for you. And that day, she was calling me all the sweet words, honey, sweetheart, and what else. I'm like, what is happening here? And he said, you know what, I got a feedback from where you did the interview. But they liked you, you were the best, but the MD says that how can we give employment to a foreigner whilst we have equally good and qualified citizens? That day, I don't know what struck me. But like something in me said, you know what, don't let this stop you. Move on. So, I moved on. And in one of our talks with my wife, something came to mind and I asked her, if it is that I develop a platform and I'm able to profile you, give you services, and then within that services, you can get loans from a financial institution without needing collateral, would you use such a system? Then she said, yes, I'll use such a system, but why don't you add payment to it? That is the birth of our company, MobiPay AgroSys Limited. And interestingly, the first version of the platform came from my project work at my bachelor's. So we started this, and by 2016, we got our certificate to operate from my sitting room. And interestingly, we were negotiating a contract with United Nations Capital Development Fund. And from the sitting room, I had to get the nanny to keep my children in the bedroom and ensure that they do not make any noise. Other than that, something is going to happen. But I stand here to tell you that we were able to secure $525,000 worth of contracts from my sitting room. Fast forward, we needed to implement the projects. But with the UN body, you need to implement the first trench, and then they reimburse you. It's a reimbursement contract. So what it means is that you implement, we give you money, you implement. We had no money. We were broke. So I told my wife, you know what? I see that beautiful car there. Can we invest with it? She said, yes. Interesting. I had a very loving wife. So we sold her car. We started the project. And we're able to do it well. So from the 5 staff that we had, we started growing the business. We were booming, getting contracts. UNCDF, WFP, name them. We've had work in the refugee settlements, and I was very happy when the UNHCR a representative was talking about refugees. We've had experience working with refugees for almost 6 years. However, in October 2017, tragic struck us. And my wife, my co-founder, and mother of my children, I lost her through an accident. So here I was in the hospital trying to recover. What is going to happen? What am I going to do? How do I get this thing? What do I do? Do I pack my bags and go back to Ghana? This woman has been my co-founder. Because when we started MobiPay, I told her, now resign from your work as the head of IT at Posta Uganda and join me. So that's where we're going. As if luck, that day, I think, when the trouble start coming in multiple folds, when I came back home and went to office, I was given resignation letters by 3 of my trusted staff. And they gave me only 3 days that they are leaving. So I asked myself, what is it? Is it a coincidence? Is it a betrayal? Is it my vulnerability? But one time in my bedroom, my son walked in, 7 years by then, and told me, Daddy, what is it? And I like digging when I go with the farmers because my platform provides linkage between input, market, and financial services to smallholder farmers. So in Uganda, we call this as digging. We dig the land to be able to plant. So he told me, Daddy, what is it? Talk to me. If there's anything, you just talk to me. That is when I noticed I was drifting away from what I have built with my wife, the love and the hard work that we have put into this. So I had to go back. So what did I do? And that is the how. I immediately called the leaving staff, tried to find out what is the problem. What did we do wrong? Interestingly, all my staff who leaves my company joins the bank. And yet we are also providing services to the bank. So again, I also had discussions with my board of directors and the investors in our company. But in all this, I also took care of my mental health. So So doing that, I was able to manage all the activities that was happening in the company. Again, getting the feedback from the leaving staff, I was able to restructure the company, how we go about our retention of staff, and then also we created temporal leaders in the organization to take over as I recover. My entrepreneurial journey has been more of a roller coaster. I have been up, I have been down, I have gone through a whole lot of things to ensure that the company moves. As Naveen was saying, we've moved from zero without any investment from venture capitalists or anything. We have close to $3 million as how the company is valued, and doing this also on a foreign land. But in all this, it's about the perseverance and the entrepreneurship skills in you. And then also your ability to know that things can change. And when they change, how do you recover? So I would want to also indicate that when all this happened, I got the love from my family and then also the professional bodies that I associated the company with, like the Financial Service, Technology Service Providers Association in Uganda, and then also the Information Technology Service Union of Uganda. Through my business advisors and also through mentors, I was able to pull through all this. And currently, we are also back to our strongest bet. We've also been able to bring in more institutions on board. So for the entrepreneurs here, I want to assure you and I want to let you know that sometimes obstacles come, but how you get up and dust yourself is what makes you a good entrepreneur. So we need to look at the dark side, the twists and turns, and together we can build something memorable. Thank you.